please welcome Mr. Paul Veisze.
At what percent saturation are we yet? I guess my position, Patrick, thank you. Penultimate speaker, the most forgettable presentation of the afternoon. Okay. So I have an aviation background, a passion for photography, imaging, and I am a connector.
Can you hear in the back or not? I am a connector.
So I do not have a policy role in UAS at state parks. Patrick invited me to speak to give you a little glimpse as to what state administration is thinking about, what we've actually accomplished. We're a one-flight wonder so far. Are there any representatives of state government here today?
One.
What? Okay, I'm in good hands. So here you have it. I'm not going to read it again for you, but we are focused on only three things. And this is my personal exhortation of everyone: safety first, accuracy. This is a bid to the mapping professions, and then efficiency. After all, we need to do it in a cost-effective fashion, particularly in a beleaguered agency such as mine. So I exhort you also. The only reason I'm here alive for you, because I have 2,000 hours of professional aerial camera work, is because of what I know and because of the pilots I flew with and what they know. So remember, you do have to know everything about your system and about your mission, and you need to communicate that effectively. And you need to be patient. Something about old pilots and bold pilots and who's here and who isn't. So we have been operating on a single site, and we have a single COA for the Trimble UX, and not the UX5 yet. Let me just, I'm in a rush, so I'm just going to jam through this. The process started with getting Major General Anthony L. Jackson, our new Director of California State Parks, not so new now, about a year, coming to save us from our public relations issues. So he signs off and says, Paul, go do it. But before you do, you have to prove to the FAA that you are actually legitimate. So we needed 2 letters. That took almost a year to get out. But once we have those letters, then we're eligible to apply. It's kind of like a mother may I. We accomplished that. The next thing I had to do was to convince our survey section, because after all, if I can't get a credible user community, then there's no point in conducting the research, right? You have to end up with something practical. We are not a university, we are a service organization. So then we have to agree to get something for free. Trimble kindly agreed to do that. And then finally, arrange approval for the operation itself at Prairie City State Vehicular Recreation Area, our off-highway vehicle park in eastern Sacramento County. Then you need a mover and shaker, someone that is also a connector, able to bring the various factions together. And then the operative element is the second to the bottom line, textbook success. I have to tell you, if you're wondering, if you've arrived here to kind of watch and see, I can assure you it works. The processes, the technologies, and the integration is happening. So we're hoping to continue with another scheduled flight in June. So this is a progression. You saw generally where we are in Northern California. Do choose an approvable site. You can see that there is a lot of remote land away from urban areas where we operated, and that's typical of also off-highway vehicles, so we're not really offending anyone. This is a perspective on the site itself. The particular location is a gravel pit under rehabilitation, so we had a little diversity of terrain, a little cover type, and lots of clearance from conventional aviation. Do know your aviation parameters and situations. So that's where we are, well away from airports, well away from airports. So this is the proof of buy-in by the Chief of Surveys. You need to have ground control. Who was the gentleman, Rory? Still in here? Thank you for that remark on ground control. We need community for ground control. You have to involve a lot of people, collect the information, and share it. So there is the scale of the aircraft involved. This is the Trimble Gatewing X100. A little close-up, just pre-launch. And 15 minutes of flight produced 60 acres of coverage to about 1 foot accuracy. So this is over-controlled, you could say, because we wanted to have a fair and open process for evaluating the accuracy performance of the aircraft system's full thread. So in those 15 minutes, enough data were acquired such that 4 hours of processing produced a digital surface model. I would not have believed it had I not seen it. And then just to prove to ourselves that we were in range, through the courtesy of Caltrans Photogrammetry and TOWL Mapping Incorporated, a helicopter LiDAR flight was flown over the same target field. So here is the, the money is the error in elevation. This is usually what surveyors are after. Horizontal, yeah, that's easy, we can do that. It's the vertical that's difficult. And so we had 5 knowns that we provided, and those are the ones in blue. And here is my, I'm not a surveyor, so this is my amateur attempt to measure the results from the flight. And look at that, inside 1 foot. And then I've hidden the hundredths of the foot data to keep my chief of survey happy that we are remaining objective about evaluation of systems. But look at those vertical results. 1 foot, I'm very safe. I've been authorized to say it's 1 foot. And then here's the LiDAR. 1 foot, not good enough. So there's the hundredth of a foot, or the tenth of a foot category of accuracy. So, what will you take home? Safety, accuracy, efficiency. Drive your thinking and operations around those things, because ultimately you have to prove efficiency, but you will go nowhere if you have mishaps. Okay? Huge setback. Politically, operationally, personally, possibly. And we want to stay squarely in the land survey and facilities management for our research purposes. Lots of motivated individuals doing search and rescue and other things. And remember that patience. Thank you. Question? No questions. Thank you.